Do you want to bust your sales quota? Do you want to join the ranks of top 1% high-tech sellers? The Top 1% Sellers Factory podcast gives you the insights and the tools to help you achieve your sales greatness. The podcast features sales and services professionals, leaders, and experts to give you the edge you're looking for. Here's your host, Ash Seddeek.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Top 1% Sellers Factory podcast. I have an amazing guest today, Leslie Rubin, who is going to tell you more about what she does. And we're going to spend a few minutes in the initial segment here talking about her work and how you as a sales professional can benefit from some of her expertise and some of the nuggets that she will be sharing with you. But we'll start off by giving Leslie an opportunity to kind of introduce herself to you and tell you more about what she does.
Thanks, Ash, and thank you for having me on. Thanks for having me on today. So what I do, my name is Leslie Rubin. I have a company called Matterz Consulting, and the work that I do with clients, both the C-suite as well as sales leaders, is really working with them to extend their voice and bring visibility to whatever story we put together or message that we want to manage with a client or a specific audience. So it's really coaching and working with clients on their communication, also on their brand and personal brand and employer brand. But I have a great time with my clients because the work that I do varies so much, not only with the client themselves, but also with the industry. So high tech, engineering, security, it really does vary.
Quite a big variety there in terms of the business lines that your clients are in. That's interesting and fascinating. When you work with him then on the personal branding side, how does that sort of unveil itself?
Absolutely. So really it's stepping back and looking at what is the brand or the image that the person currently has. So if we take a look at someone who's an executive and they want to have a specific image that's portrayed or communicated through LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, or even through Twitter. So how you communicate really does affect the brand that you have and really how you want people to know you and what you want to be known for.
So in that case, then do you work with them in terms of kind of finding out what their brand is currently, vis-a-vis perhaps what they want to walk into the future?
Yeah, so really what I do with a client when I first start working with them is we look at where they currently stand. So someone may obviously in a business environment have LinkedIn. That's easy. But how do they want to brand themselves? Where do they want to share their knowledge or how do they want to communicate? So we do a whole profile on their current social media platform and where they stand. And then we look at, well, what do I want to be known for? How do I want people to perceive my image socially? What do I want to communicate? So the work that I do with my clients is looking at the overall landscape of where they currently are, how we effectively communicate, and really the forward thinking or the future is how do I want people to know me going forward? So it's being strategic in the way that you plan your brand image.
Yes. So it sounds like almost you may be preparing almost like a brief that basically kind of describes where that brand is today versus where he or she wants to take it. And then perhaps you start looking at some of the touch points that they may have with their own audiences in order to sort of showcase that new branding that you're developing with them.
Absolutely, Ash. So it's really taking where you are now and where you want to go. So the clients that I work with, want to work on their brand or their polish or their executive presence. So that really does run the gamut as far as their overall, the visibility that they have with their audience or their clients, the board meetings that they may be in. So how do we consistently give someone, quote, a look and feel that is very consistent of the leader they are or that they want to be?
Yeah. And in terms of, is that mainly just the language that they use to communicate and the values that they are sort of basing the language on, or is it something more than that?
Well, it's some, but it's really how are you showing up? It's really from your voice. It's from your nonverbal cues. Are you crossing your legs? Are you crossing your arms? To what you're actually wearing. So we all know that you feel the best in things that make you feel good, or clothing that people give you compliment on. So be it a blouse or a color. For men, it could be a shirt or a tie that they get compliments on. So, all these presenting yourself in the way that you want people to see you, but also that makes you feel really good.
Yes. That's very interesting. I also wonder if the work you're talking about, would it mostly be for somebody who has an organization that he or she's managing, or could it be an individual contributor?
It can be both, Ash. It really comes down to what is it that the person wants to do. So my client base, I work with CEOs who are managing large and small companies or organizations. But then I had a call the other day with a sales associate out of Austin, and he's a single individual contributor. And he is trying to elevate what he's doing and how he's coming through to his clients. So it really does vary. And potentially a lot of these people who are current individual contributors are ultimately gunning for, or they're on a career path to be a larger leader or to run an organization. And working with a coach or working with someone who has a lot of experience in creating a brand or an image is really that next level sometimes that people need to get to it. And I know your base right now, Ash, is really high level people that sometimes just need a little bit or nuancing just to get to that next level.
It makes a lot of sense. And I wonder if based on your work, you've seen a specific time frame for seeing some outcomes from that work. Have you seen some averages? How long would it typically take if you start working with someone on their brand, personal brand, as well as their communication? Has there been a specific range of time that they can start to expect results?
I haven't seen specific range of time, but it's pretty quick, the ramp up that we go through in terms of, the first month of working together in what they want to change or what they want to address. And a lot of these individuals are high potential or high profile individuals. So they're already in a place where they just need to maybe tweak a little something or nuance something. So it can be fairly quick, or it can be a couple of month time frame. And I say a couple of month time frame because there are, if we really want to look at a broad base and we put pen to paper and we want to work together for say 2, 3, 6 months, it's what's our end goal? Are we wanting to get a keynote? Are we trying to get into a specific client? So it's also looking at the goal of what that person's trying to do, but then also how they want to brand themselves online and personally.
Makes a lot of sense. That's terrific, Leslie, because that's definitely what we want to take our next segment on. So we're going to go on to a commercial break, and when we come back, I'd love to get your why for why you do what you do, and then start actually thinking about some actual sales professionals listening to us and really give them some nuggets on how they can right now, right after they finish listening to what we talk about, they can actually start implementing some of these ideas. So we will be right back.
Thank you for tuning in to the Top 1% Sellers Factory podcast. Give us your suggestions and guest recommendations by emailing us at ash@connectwithash.com. Thank you also for sharing this podcast with your colleagues and social media contacts. To connect with us on LinkedIn, please send a connect request to ash@connectwithash.com. See you at our next episode. Thanks for tuning in.